So before we move into the actual videos where we're actually talking about articles, ebooks, audio ebooks, things like that, I'm going to talk briefly about tools that you need before getting started with those videos. Of course, with anything like private label articles, private label books, I would recommend just basically some sort of tool editor, anything like Microsoft Word, OpenOffice, which is free, things like that. So basically anything that can edit whatever ebook you're looking at, whatever article you're looking at, and things like that. So that's fairly simple. You don't need anything, complex or anything like that. Now, when you dive into things like, let's say, private label audiobooks, and let's say that you want to add music to it. Now, it depends on you. Whether you use Camtasia Studio, that's fine. If you use Camtasia Studio, you can pretty much complement using that and dealing with private label videos later. So if you get that one tool, you can pretty much cover audio articles, audio ebooks, private label videos, and things like that. Now, in this video, I'm going to assume that let's try to stick with a lot of free tools, and to lower your costs. So let's say that you're dealing with private label audio ebooks. I would highly recommend you use a program called Audacity. And I'm going to use Audacity in this tutorials in video number 4, where we talk about private label audio ebooks or audio articles. And that is a free tool. It's a really good tool, and let me show you how it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google here so you can see what I'm typing in. If you go to Audacity here, as you can see here, you'll notice that there's a free audio editor and recorder. So if you go there, or you go straight to the download link, as you can see here, you can go ahead and download it. Whether you use Windows, Macintosh, or Linux, just download the file. Download the stable version, of course. And what you're going to need is this. You're going to need this file, which is basically in the installation file, and you're going to need the lame MP3 encoder. The reason why you need that is that Audacity, once you convert it to an MP3 file, that's what Audacity is going to use to convert whatever audio into MP3. So download this file, and that's it. The next thing we're going to look at is private label videos. As I recommended earlier, Camtasia Studio is actually the best way and best route to go. So I'll actually go over Camtasia Studio with you. However, just to keep your costs down low, I'm going to use Windows Movie Maker as far as editing goes on private label videos, so that we can keep your options open, things like that. So we'll type that here. And next we have private label source code, or private label software. Simply put, what that is basically software, or people give you rights to edit the software. Now, most people do not know what to do with private label source code. They simply stamp their name on it and start selling it, which is great, and it's a little different than private label articles because you're sort of reselling the product. Now, private label source code generally is higher costs, or you can sell it for more just because it's a piece of software. And software is generally a higher perceived value. Now, the big question is, what tools do you need? You don't need any tools. In fact, private label source code, I would highly recommend you hire a software programmer. And I'll show you how you can hire a software programmer for cheap. There are ways of communicating with programmers in a fashion where if it sounds easy to them, the cheaper they give you a cheaper quote. If it sounds too complicated, you say something like clone this or clone that, or I want something similar to that, then most likely the programmer is going to give you a price that is 5 or 10 times higher than what you should be paying. So I'll show you several tips and tricks to go about that as a software developer myself. So let's go ahead and move on. In the next videos, video 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I'll take different types of private label rights products. Private label articles in video 2, private label ebooks in video 3, private label audio ebooks in video 4, private label videos in video 5, private label source code software in video 6. So I'll be taking each and individual types of PLR and will show you how you can make them unique step by step so that you can profit off of them individually and increase your conversions.